All right. Somebody explain to me how we live in a world where the movie about the fish guy is better than the movie about the Man of Steel. I'm pretty sure that's one of the signs of the apocalypse. It's like the fifth one. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Comic Book Bob, and I just got back from watching Aquaman, and I liked it. It was fun. It was pretty good, man. I mean, it wasn't perfect. What movie ever is, but damn, uh, yeah, DC pulled out another good one, and I really can't say anything too negative about this movie. It's fun. Um, it's kind of shocking, really. Um, DC has not been great, as we all know. Let's go back to the beginning of the trailer here. DC has not been great, and their track record has been kind of spotty. I mean, Wonder Woman was the largely considered the best movie out of the entire group, and Aquaman has largely been considered a joke character up until recently. But this movie was actually pretty good. The characters were a lot of fun. The story is not very deep. It's very simple. Um, the acting is, I mean, it's good enough. I mean, if you come in, I mean, it's not going to win any Academy Awards or anything, but it was that nobody was like eye rolling, cringeworthy, terrible. The fight scenes were really cool, and the effects were fantastic. I mean, it was a really good popcorn comic book flick. And I know a lot of people were like worried about the Aqua Bro, as they call it, but Jason Momoa is a lot of fun in this movie. You can tell that he digs playing this character, and it this is definitely a step up for DC. Um, so a real quick synopsis of the movie. It does start off because one of the questions a lot of people ask is when this movie takes place. It does start off after Justice League. They do reference Justice League a little bit. They mention the fight against Steppenwolf, and basically what happens is Aquaman's younger brother Orn, who is the king of Atlantis, is dead set on destroying the surface world. Basically, they're tired of uh, the pollution that gets dumped into the ocean. They're tired of it's poisoning them. Blah, it's the typical stuff that you read about in the comics. And he's dead set he's dead set on taking out the surface world. But to do that, and this is something that they kind of change a little bit in from the comics, from what I understand, is Atlantis is only one of several kingdoms. There's Atlantis, which is ruled by his brother Orm. This is actually the picture of of Aquaman's mother and father. There's another kingdom that the name of it slips my mind right now, and it is ruled by Dolph Lundgren's character, who is Mara's father. And then there's the Fisher Kingdom, which is ruled by the at the God, I can't remember the name of them. They basically look like half man, half fish, like the typical mermaid kind of like look. And then there's another kingdom called the Brine Kingdom, where all the people are like crustaceans. They're like crabs and stuff like that. And then there's a kingdom called the Lost Kingdom, which is called the Trench. And that's actually a reference to a storyline that was done in the comics, which is these guys right here, these piranha, these kind of like a cross. Actually, they look more like anglerfish. Um, and for Ocean Master to declare war on the surface world, he has to get all the other kingdoms to join up with him so that they can overwhelm the surface. And that's basically where Mara comes in and she tells him, "Hey, you need to come stop your brother." I'm sorry for the scrubbing, guys. And of course, he's reluctant. He's like, "No, I'm not a king. I don't want to do that." But Orm kind of takes the decision out of his hands when he tries to kill everybody. And like I said, the story's not real deep. There's a lot of really cool imagery in this stuff in the movie. The visual effects are fantastic. The fight scenes are really, really cool. This fight scene in particular was pretty cool. And the way that they do his powers is interesting because one of the, it's like, oh, you can talk to fish. Well, actually, and obviously we saw that in the movie, but the way his powers work is when he's in the water, he could take on Superman. Aquaman is not a pushover. He's a badass. And it doesn't dwell, like one of the things that are troubling for, movies, comic book movies is when they do these origin stories. And the movie does delve into his origin a little bit, but the vast majority of the movie actually takes place in the present. Most of the stuff about his his past are done in these little flashbacks, these little vignettes. And if they're going to do these individual movies, I would rather they do them like this, where they're not really origin stories. They're movies about now, but they touch on the things from their past to help people who aren't familiar with the characters get familiar with them. And this movie does a good job of that. If going forward, this should be the template for the way DC does their standalone films for the characters that they haven't had a film yet. Now, as far as the Justice League is concerned, you still got to do an origin. Well, you don't want to do an origin film. You want to do a movie like this for the Flash. You can do a movie like this for Cyborg if you wanted to, and any other characters that they want to bring in, like Green Lantern. I think the days of the origin story film are pretty much done. There's not a lot of characters you can do that with where people aren't just going to be like, "Oh God, here we go again." But as far as the characters go, his dad, I really liked his dad. If I'm not mistaken, this is the guy that played Jango Fett. Let me double check here. And let me find his dad here. Yeah. This is the guy that played Jango Fett, and he's not in the movie very much, but he's pretty cool when he's in it. And the overall cast was actually really, really good. The only nitpick I have with it is Orm's not really all that impressive. I mean, they do a good job of playing up, he's just as strong as Aquaman, blah blah blah. I don't know. It's just something about Patrick Wilson that just kind of I don't see him as a badass. Dolph Lundgren plays King Nereus, who is Mara's father, which it was a kind of, his stock has really gone up a lot lately, especially now that he's back in Creed. But I mean, it's there's nothing that happens in this movie that's like eye-rolling, cringeworthy. Nicole Kidman was good as his mom. William Dafoe the CGI to de-age William Dafoe when they go to the past, that looked a little weird, but other than that, yeah, it was the cast. I can't complain about the cast. The cast was actually pretty good. Manta was actually pretty cool in the movie. Now, if I do have any issue with anything in the movie, in the story, it's the whole thing with his storyline about why Manta hates Aquaman. I get why they did the way that they did it. It was to you just to get it done and out of the way, but it is a little heavy-handed. Other than that, though, his portrayal of Manta is really good. Manta really feels like a threat. The you could kind of see the whole thing, the whole story with Manta's involvement and King Orm, Patrick Wilson's character. You could kind of see all that coming. It's like, oh, okay, that's how this is going to happen. But yeah, it didn't suck, which is a major step up for DC. Now, I'm not going to hate too much on Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman and Justice League. They weren't god awful horrible films. They were okay films. But when you're talking about the Justice League, like this is the original. These are the big guns. These are the guys, and these movies need to be on the same level, if not better, than the Marvel films. They really do, and they're just not. But this is definitely a major step up. And this, like I said, the fight scenes are really, really good. The underwater fight, I really like it. The humor that is in the movie, it's not over the top. The ending battle scene is really cool. And yeah, for what few problems it does have, this is a fun comic book movie. This is a good direction to go in for DC. So I'm not going to spoil the film. I don't want to get too involved in it, but yeah, for my first reaction, this is it's worth going to see. I like it. I'm hoping that this is what we're going to get more of coming out of the DC films going forward. Yeah, so that's really can't say all that too much more about it, man. I mean, it's I think James Wan did a good job, and if this is the direction that they're going in, and if this is what we can expect from them, I think DC might be finally getting on track. So let me know what you guys think. Did you guys go see it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you like about it? If you like this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. And I will catch you guys next time. Till then, have fun.